What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders and closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. I don't have the preview video with the song. I kind of miss it today. I don't know. I got to get it downloaded. So, yep, new computer I'm working off of, and I gotta get all my classics back. I gotta get the classics back. But even though maybe my computer not so reliable, what is reliable is all the beautiful people every single day working day in and day out, keeping that grind going. Good morning. We got Chuck in the house. We got Al. We got Albert. We got Alex. Good morning, Bill. We got Brian. Brian. Good morning, Eric. Fayaz. Fabo. We got Greg K in the house. Good morning to Jay, Joe, JT. We got Kevin, Ron, Win. Ooh, all my peeps in YouTube land. Good morning to Ola Ayush, Real Virtual Demand. All my lurkers in the back of YouTube, not commenting anything. Good morning to all of you as well. And we had PCE come out today, 8:30, about 32 minutes ago. I think it was a little bit neutral, honestly. We do have the market moving. So core inflation was coming down. It does look like we're still on the right path for inflation. It just was not a huge, we had an initial huge little spike, good little pop, good little bounce. Everything looked good in terms of how the initial bulls wanted to take it, or at least how the algos were trying to push it around. So that was good. That was decent. But it wasn't. We've seen bigger PCE. We've seen bigger CPI. And I'm just kind of, I don't think we're bearish. I don't think we're bearish whatsoever. But it was a little bit of a muted reaction. If we go to the daily chart on SPY, I still think we're in a really nice spot to have a potential bullish day. This is, even though this is a red candle, so a lot of people might look at this and go, all right, it's a little bit of it's a red candle. Today's a gap and go. It's not really a gap and go. Yesterday we did gap up. I would almost treat this thing a little bit like a retest gap, but it is a good looking hammer, and I do think we get continuation. So maybe we get a little bit of a pullback at open. The interesting thing to me is we finally got above that, almost the last VPOC. And the question is, at 9:30 a.m., 27 minutes from now, where do we hold? Where can we hold on this thing? Let's go to that pre-market real quick again. So it's almost as if this was the candle at 8:30. We've already came back. We kind of S-curved. We still look bullish. If we're able to hold these levels, and maybe this was the retest, this is at 403.90 is the low. That did come into developing VPOC. We got a good bounce off of it. So yeah, I do think in some sense we have, it is technically a retest gap to me. But I think the bullish continuation, the report wasn't enough to say, okay, well, we're trapping all the bulls and it's a clear bearish direction. But target for me would be now 406.65. I think that's definitely a spot we get to. And again, I can see us moving a little bit higher too. So this might not be a today number, 411.60. Keep in mind though, one, there is some options expiring today. So that could help move the market, give a little volatility to the market. And two, keep in mind what Monday is. Jeremy has been saying this all week. Monday is a new day, a new week, a new month. We're getting candles all across the board. If there's a gap in any direction, there's going to be some fire moves on Monday. So keep that in mind too. We're just, all of this is kind of just setting up for, do we have news over the weekend? Do we have any momentum shifts over the weekend? Do we have anything banking over the weekend? And a new quarter. Yep. Wynn's got it. Yep. And a new quarter. So, so don't use all the margin today. No, you can use your margin today. Yeah, that's fine. Just don't lose your money today, because next week's gonna be more fun. Well, don't don't get a little too crazy. But yeah, by all means, today I think we do get some continuation, and I think all of it's going to be very interesting to see how the daily chart closes today. But we will see. We'll see. I do still have that bullish edge. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a small little pullback at open. All things considered, as we are moving into a new day, new week, new month, new quarter, it's going to be an interesting setup. Don't spoil the weekend. All right. We got the cues. Technically inside day still on the cues. I mean, the cues were rampaging before rampaging was cool. So it's already up there. Technically, we're sitting at an inside day candle. Target for me is about 317.11. And then if that one breaks, we're looking at about 318.68. So we do still have some upside. I kind of feel like we're getting a little to the extended side. I'm trying to look at the wave count on this thing, and I don't know. I mean, this is obviously bullish move. This entire thing was a flag kind of pennant pattern, and then we broke. So if that's the case, and I'm even looking at the wave count, I think there's a 1, 2, 3. That was the 4 or 5. There's your ABC. That means that this is a 1, 2, and this move is actually probably bigger than what we might imagine. So we might be entering wave 3. But yep, definitely Pat News says, and the first business day after April Fool's Day. I don't think that's how that works, Pat. I think it's only April Fool's Day is the day for foolery. I don't think it carries over because it happens on a weekend, so now you have to bring it into your work week. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the technicals on that one. But then again, certain holidays, if it happens on a Saturday or Sunday, they will give everybody off on on Monday for that holiday that already happened. So maybe we'll see. All right, if you guys have stocks that you want to double check, we could. Win is throwing in FRC double top forming and 2 sets of tweezers. I think it will go down at the open 3-minute chart. It has this week pretty consistently. That being said, the setup those days were a little bit different than the setups on today. Those ones they ran, like if you look back, those setups, they all ran pretty high pre-market. So we would get some nice pre-market boosts, some gains out of the gate, quick run up, and then we just start fading. So I do think if we get there's your big run up, there's your fade. This one it's up a little bit, but it's not like that big rampage. So I don't know if it fades this quickly out of the gate. We also know that 1250 has been a good resistance for FRC. Somewhere down at 1250. We also know that's about $16, probably actually a little less than that now. So about $15 has been a tight range for this. On a TTM squeeze basis. Yep, there's no squeeze or anything. Let's just see which way momentum is pushing. See if we get an idea about some kind of a break. Looks like momentum's kind of fading a little bit. This looks like on a wave count, we got a potentially 1, 2, 3, 4. This is all setting up for a 5. So maybe we get that pullback. But we do, as of right now, we got those developing VPOCs moving higher. I probably don't expect too much out of the banks today. I think if the banks were going to make any kind of move, they were going to do it probably pre-market, but we'll see how it plays out. How do I like Tesla? I think Tesla's interesting. I was watching this one this morning for some kind of reaction. I still have some calls from yesterday that I took out close to the end of the day, right before I pretty much hopped on the Pivot podcast. So, and then the bell rang. I didn't get to sell anything. Completely distracted. The interesting thing on Tesla is this is a massive move. I've been saying this. I think it was, let me just go to the daily real quick. I think this was 196 and change. So if we open above it, I like it, but there's that double top, and now we even hit that resistance pre-market. So I believe this is an inside day from yesterday. This good. Yep. So far inside day, I think the direction is bullish. Right. So if we're using the VPOX, you got one lower, next one trends higher, next one trends higher. This is still a relatively good close as we're closing above all of that volume with one little spot right here. Somewhere around 96. Oh, 96, 196 and change, 196.50. Somewhere right around there is a spot we have to break. Right now we are. So 196, I'll call it 41, right? Maybe a little bit higher, 48, something like that. So that looks good. The next spot is 197.89. And then the one after that is 199.08. So yesterday is really just kind of a hangout candle rest. It did have a good looking, I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red days in a row. We had a little bit of a gap and go. That came back, that retested. We hit the VPOX. We're good as far as retesting all those. Then we have this one spot up here, this 196.41, where that came back. It was already retested. Yesterday was the second day. We were not able to hold it. And now today we are gapping up above it. So I do like Tesla in a bullish direction. Question is, how bullish is the market going to be? Or is it going to be like, it's Friday. This is the candle right here, though. That's the candle we have to try to break out of. Until this range is really taken out, we probably get chop, and then maybe Monday on that gap up. That's our day. This is our day. Wow, even my Zoom, I'm used to drawing with like a purple. Now my color is blue. Okay. But yeah, I think this is our bullish direction. I do think this is a rest day. I do think bullish is still the direction. And I think eventually we probably get back up to at least here, at least into this VPOC, which is about 202, if not higher. But this looks like a good bullish break, pennant pattern, classic gap, classic retest, and bullish. So I do have some calls as well for next week. Most of them expire today. So the ones that expire today, I'll probably be clearing house on. But I might be holding the Tesla for next week. Most likely I will. Unless something crazy stupid happens. Let's see. We got MU gapping down. Is interesting. Yeah, somebody was saying that. I didn't get a chance to take a look, but that's what this pre-market's for. Let's take a look. We got MU. That is a pretty significant gap into a little bit of support. That is a gap and go from yesterday. What I would say is going to be a struggle for him. You might get a little chop on this. Is there news on this? It's not earnings. So after China says it will review chip sales in key market. Okay. China to conduct cybersecurity review on chip maker Micron. China. The China effect. This is man, this is gonna be. I really kind of like it to the bear side. I'm a little worried about how far. I mean, you got good support. You do have the moving averages that could come in and save you. But with that volume, I think I got to put it kind of high on my list. We just had really good volume, pretty good close, a little bit of a wick at top, a little bit of a resting day. We had all the VPOCs higher. Now we're starting to break down the VPOCs. I got to keep this one high on the list. MU. I think the best course of action on this one, probably what I would like to do, and this might be an open and flush with targets down to about 58.50. I can see us getting down there. That's a lot of bulls that are trapped in this thing. But we still have that retest from yesterday. I would love to see, this is what I would love to see, some kind of buying at open. And then we could get a breakdown of a green candle, something like that. And then I think we flush. If that happens, that'd be perfect. That would satisfy this retest. I don't think we retest all the way up there. I just don't see that happening. But we do have a little bit of support where you might go, maybe there's some investors out there going, I don't think this is a big story whatsoever. And sounds like a bunch of nonsense. And we'll buy it. We'll take advantage of the pricing that we missed on that. So a little bit of support maybe could hold. That's our spot. We get a little balance and then we roll. So that's what I'm looking for on this one. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, give me 1 second real quick. I'll be right back. But any other tickers that you have, just throw it in the chat. All right, I am back. All right, let's run through the list. Meta does nothing but go up. That looks like still continuation. I think we had targets to 208. Yeah, so we're in those targets. Next stop on Meta. If we do continue bullish, we're looking at 211.87 and then follow that by 213. Again, this is gonna be a little tough to short anything. Not yet. But if that gap down on Monday is if that's bearish, if we gap over the weekend bearish, we're trapping. Oof. Then you see bearish DJ come out again. All right, we got AI. Yep. So far continuation. This is a retest gap. So see if we can get a little pullback. 27.53 would be an interesting spot to look to buy. It's up there. This does look like a little W. Nice double bottom on it. And targets probably to about 28.76 would be the initial. If it breaks there, Godspeed. This thing just to the moon. So as good risk reward. Here's our heavier volume area. All of this kind of liquidity, that should now be our support on this thing. But I think it's going to be a struggle bus around the zone, and then probably chop. If we get above that spot on AI, let's see if there's another even volume area. This thing has room to run back to essentially $50. So there's not a lot holding it back. If this breaks, that's going to be a very good resistance for, like, that's the spot the bears have to save it. If they don't, good night, Sally. Good night, Sally. All right. AF study today. We got AMD. All right. Somehow I did AMDF. Not sure why. I know NVIDIA was struggling a little bit, and AMD is as well. Watch this pattern on AMD. You guys know in the morning room we do talk about, we're like, okay, this could turn into head and shoulders. This could be a spot. How do we play it? Watch out for AMD. It's up a lot. Chips are super strong. Obviously, Micron's down a lot. That's probably giving that weakness to some of their friends like NVIDIA and AMD. But if this turns out to be the left, this turns out to be the head, this turns out to be the right, then we got to be watching this neckline. I gotta get used to this new pen system. That looks like garbage. All right, but if that breaks down, that we could look back and go, okay, there was your head and shoulders, and then we come up, we retest, and this is an interesting spot. We do have that reversal candle on this one. We're gapping down a little. I don't see, unless the market goes bearish here, I don't know if today is the day we get a big collapse. Probably be looking for like 96.75. Something to that extent would be my support, and see if we could hold that. If not, then the next target is probably about 95, 96 if it gets a little bit more to the red side in the markets. But it's probably more of a hangout day for AMD. It's been like that for about a month now. But yep, same thing with NVIDIA. And again, I do have the puts. I almost got out of it. They almost tricked me yesterday. But I still have puts, and I was going to sell it, and then I go, wait, I bought this thing for a year's time. I might as well just hold it just in case. But yep, a little bit of a gap down. This one could get interesting for Nvidia. I think I did try to trade Nvidia bearish yesterday to no success. Just did not want to. This has been very resilient for the bulls, just kind of pushing this thing higher. If we go fib on this one, we could probably look for about a 50% retrace for some kind of goal. Let's see where that matches up. But you do have the market gapping, and this, yeah, chips are a little bit to the weak side. Bearish gap and go. If we get down to the 38, that's also VPOC. That would be 68.75. That could give us a little bit of room. Yeah, so they're acting differently. That would be an interesting. I kind of like the Nvidia short over AMD. We are at a little double top. We're kind of back into it. We did have the reversal. AMD seems a little bit to the flatter side. So if I'm going to go short something, it's going to be MU or Nvidia for right now. Ron says DraftKings. Almost looks 3-bar playish. Yeah, I think we talked about this yesterday as well. So we have a little bit of good breakout candle, good resting day. I think we do continue bullish in DraftKings, and the target probably 1937. So it's not going to be a huge room to run, but if you can set some kind of trade up there, I think that's where we start maxing out for today. Unless something crazy happens. Again, this is all. I think we have a lot more room on a swing trade on DraftKings. This would be kind of your breakout. This is your pennant pattern, something like that. And looks like we are starting to break out. We probably do this and then something like that. Yep. That looks decent for a swing trade. Day trade again. The upside today, unless the entire market wants to just absolutely rip, which we've seen some crazier things. But if today is a day where we get no selling whatsoever, it could be a fun little surprise day. But right now, I think it's probably going to be a little bit to the muted side. All right, we got IWM. So here's the Russell. Decent gap up. This is a gap and go. We've obviously been trending bullish. I do think that probably continues. I'd be worried really about this one spot. That's my only concern, is how far much more can this thing go. That looks like 176.72. If that breaks, the next target is decent, 177.99. So about 178. And that would be your next target. You do have obviously some moving averages coming in. Small time frames. We are starting to curl up a little bit. If we can break this, again, today, probably about 178. But then we'd be looking for almost that next little target. That would be, I'd probably even take it to 182. So we still have some upside on this one. Looks like maybe a little bit of inverted head and shoulders. Not exactly the cleanest. Kind of looks a little bit more to the double bottom side, but there's your left, there's the head. This little shoulder would be the right. This is your neckline. Again, I think there's going to be a lot of applied pressure to the zone. So it's going to be a little bit tougher to break out. If we do, you probably look for that retest, but looks good. I think we still have a lot of bullish potential setups for right now until the massive gap on Monday, which is going to be bearish and everybody freaks out again. One of those two things. Attorney Dan says, good morning, DJ Dan. All the RLT rock stars. Good morning, Attorney Dan. Babbitt's in the house as well. Oof. All right. Let's see. Carnival Cruise. What do we got? 5 more minutes. Carnival not doing too much. What is this? Fastly. Just kind of hanging out. Coles, which I was astonished with their stupid dividends that they have. Couldn't even sleep. Just kept thinking about dividends all night. We got Chewy, small little gap up. Zoom, not doing too much. Bitcoin, I believe, was pushing a little bit. Let's check out Coinbase. I know Cardano was running. Coinbase is still probably a little bit to the flat side. We did see Square essentially come back and close that gap. Not quite there yet. We kind of hit resistance exactly where we probably thought we'd close. Still a massive gap down, a little bit of a reversal candle. Trend right now is still bullish short term. And we probably come back for a 50% retrace at least to 63.75. I don't know if that happens today. It does look a little bit gap and go-ish. Probably going to be a chop day for Square, PayPal. Win is in the house. What's up, Win? We got PayPal just kind of chilling as well. So nothing crazy there. Check out Disney. Disney still could be interesting. Do we have resistance here? So it kind of looks like the overall market a little bit. We're gapping above where people took profits. This is 1, 2. I think we're in some kind of a 3. Probably some kind of a move to 99.86. And if that breaks, the next spot would be about $100.65. So Disney still looks kind of good for recovery. I do think we've already satisfied the full 5-wave count down, which is this is probably the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. And either down here's the ABC, and this was a 1, 2, that means we're in a 3. Or if this entire thing was the 5, this is your ABC, this is now a 1. Either way, that's going to put a little bit more pressure to probably the upside, something like this. And we get back into the targets and curve, and I think probably continued bullish, at least for now. That looks good. Lulu, we had some decent moves. Still a lot of room to even satisfy any of that retest, but I think probably about 349. Call it 350. Let's see if Baba's moving. The Chinese stock names. After they come in and clap MU. I'm just kind of hanging out today. There's a lot of things just kind of not really doing too much. Boeing, same thing, kind of getting to a little bit of resistance. We've got Netflix, which has just been a powerhouse. That one is gapping up a little bit. What do I got? 2 more minutes left. All right, let me put back the SPY. Let's see how the SPY wanted to react. We are watching this spot, which we're opening right there. Oh, we're so close. So close on this one. We needed to stay probably a little bit higher. We're right at that little support right now on the SPY. So probably best thing to do would be a little bit extra patient at the open. I do think this is going to have a little vibe of the retest as opposed to a gap and go. And then probably a little bit later we break out. But we will see. We'll see what the day brings. Otherwise, everybody in YouTube land, you guys are absolutely incredible. I do appreciate you joining us, but I got like less than a minute left. Keep in mind, next Monday is going to be very, very important. Also, we do have a 4-day trading week. So Good Friday, which is a Friday coming up right before Easter, the market is closed. So keep that in mind too. If you're playing options, if you're playing anything like that, just be aware of certain dates that the market is closing. Otherwise, we flip this over to TOS. There's the bell. You guys have been